I've had a crush on the same girl my entire life. We've been best friends for years, and she knows exactly how I feel. She's even told me she feels the same way, but there's one thing. She doesn't want to be seen as a virgin until she's married to the guy she's with. Most of the time, it's just the four of us, me, her, Eric, and Dave, hanging out at my house playing Halo. Then Eric starts spending more time with his older cousin, who's 37. At first, it's just harmless fun, but the cousin starts making fun of us for hanging out with someone so much older. Eventually, Eric begins going to his cousin's place once a week to drink and play Halo when his wife and kids aren't around. And he starts bringing her along, too. The cousin is constantly eyeing her, but she's used to being the only girl in our group, so it doesn't seem to bother her much. Still, I can tell the cousin doesn't respect boundaries. He knows she's off limits, but he keeps hitting on her. What frustrates me is that she doesn't seem to mind it. One day, the cousin asks her why it doesn't say I'm her boyfriend on Facebook. When she tells him I'm more like her best friend than anything, he smirks and says, "Man, you've got to lock him down. She's hot." It makes me furious. I tell her he's a jerk and she agrees, but she's always so polite about it. She says, "You know me, I don't know how to be rude to people." Then, one night, the cousin proposes a game where the winner gets to have her sit on their lap for the next round. The problem is, he wins the game, and I know the rule is about to be enforced. I start to protest, but he ignores me. She ends up sitting on his lap for the next couple of hours while the rest of us keep playing. I'm furious, but I hold it in. Afterward, we fight. As always, we make up, but it feels like the same thing is happening over and over again. This continues for the next few weeks. Every time the cousin comes up with a new game like this, she reluctantly agrees, and I get upset. She says she doesn't want to, but the guys are persistent, and she's bad at saying no. One night, she calls me crying. She admits she has trouble saying no to people, but wants to fix it. I forgive her, and we end up cuddling to sleep. For a while, she stops going to the cousin's house, but eventually, she starts going again, trying to repair our broken friendships. Then, a few days later, she tells me that her cousin has the place to himself again and invites us over. I try calling her, but she's still angry and won't pick up. We haven't spoken since the weekend, and at school on Monday, she avoids me all day. Things feel awkward. I contact Eric and Dave, but they tell me that they played the same game again. Eric leaves quickly, but later, Dave tells me that Eric and the cousin were making out with her. She shows up at my place that night, no text, no call, just sobbing at the door. I don't even know how to be mad at her. I just tell her, "It's okay. I know what happened, and I forgive you." She keeps crying, and we go to bed. In the middle of the night, she suddenly says, "I love you." It's the best moment of my life. Without hesitation, I say, "I love you too." The next day, things take a turn. Mike, a classmate of mine who's been quiet up until now, suddenly gets up, walks over to me, and punches me in the face. He beats me up, erases all my contacts, Eric's, Dave's, and the cousin's, from my phone. Then, he threatens me, saying that if I ever contact her or any of them again, he'll make my life miserable. He tells me I need to move in with him and tell my parents I rented my own apartment because I'm not allowed to hang out with them anymore. From that point on, Mike follows me everywhere. At school, when she's near me, he tells me to ignore her or act cold, or else he'll beat me when we're alone. She begs me to be cold to her, even though it's painful because Mike is always watching us. She says it's for my own safety.